Good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 17 of Comic Relief, the live weekly talk show for all things comics, their live adaptations, and anything else that makes you want to get nerdy with it, here on The Box, the live podcast network, bringing you the latest and greatest in comic, horror, anime, and music news. If you like what we're about here on The Box, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And also, thanks to our buddy Jagger here, we have started up an official Discord server, so if you would like to get in touch with us off stream and talk more theories and whatnot, you can do so there. A link to that server will be down below. But for now, on with the show. We are your hosts. I'm Xander.
And I'm Jagger, and tonight is our Loki episode 4 recap, which was a big episode. Right before we get to
huge
see
episode.
what episode 5 has in store for us tomorrow, which I feel like it's going to be a much bigger episode.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
But first, the news.
Yes, the news. The nerd news.
Nerd news. Black Panther 2 has officially started production. Finally.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to see where that goes. Hopefully some set leak photos come out soon. But other than that, a very cryptic image of Wolverine's claws was shared by creator Boss Logic, which was then reshared by Hugh Jackman, followed by an image of Jackman alongside MCU's top dog, Kevin Feige, and that set the nerdnet ablaze. Everything went crazy.
I did not. I wasn't sure. I still don't know what to make of it.
I'm surprised you didn't call me freaking out.
Because I kind of looked at it and I was thinking, it's Boss Logic. It's just another kind of thing or whatever. I didn't, like I said, I didn't really think much of it.
Yeah, I guess.
So we'll see. Let's see what we got here. Megan Fox voicing her interest in starring in either the MCU or DCEU. It's been very widely known that Megan Fox is a high-key nerd.
High-key.
Very, very big into World of Warcraft for a long period of time. She even showed up in a lot of the Black Desert Online trailers. I believe that was
she was also really big into RuneScape. She was a big fan of RuneScape Classic.
Why do I get the feeling like she made millions off of RuneScape somehow? Like she was one of those guys that's just
I could see it. I can 100% see it. I mean, in regards to who she could play, I'd like to see if she were in the MCU, I'd put her as Psylocke.
I can see her as Psylocke, yeah.
Yeah, I can see it.
It's just I don't know. I feel like especially with the multiversal stuff happening right now. I say just bring back Olivia Munn.
Yeah, she did a really good job. Plus, she's still in shape for it. So that'll be good.
DCEU, I could kind of. I mean, this is kind of like a no-brainer. Like everyone wants to see this, but I could see them doing the Poison Ivy route, or even maybe Zatanna.
Ooh, I could get behind that.
I think I like that a lot.
Yeah,
let's see. We got some other rumors going around. Rumors suggest that Megan Thee Stallion is set to appear in She-Hulk, but not as herself, an actual acting role. So it's not going to be just like some silly little cameo. She actually might have a legitimate part in this.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm
not going to put any statement on the record right now, but
it is said to be more on the comedy side of things.
I'm sure.
So we'll see. I don't know.
I'm just gonna. If she's in it for more than a couple scenes, the first time she goes, I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm just gonna stop watching the show.
Let's see. Moving on from that, it's official. Maybe sort of, kind of. I don't know. Tom Holland and co-star Zendaya seen out for Thai food on what seems to be a romantic date. Or honestly, it could just be two friends having dinner. Why is this news? Leave these kids alone. God.
You realize that there's a photo of them kissing, right?
No, there's no what?
Yeah.
Well, there's my shot with Tom.
Like you had a shot with Tom.
Come on. You know he wants to get with this. Any hooser. What else we got?
That's just your fantasy of getting with Spider-Man. But speaking of Spider-Man, in actual Spider-Man news, not only has Hasbro, but Funko has also released officially licensed No Way Home toys revealing 2 brand new suits. including a black and gold suit, which kind of resembles the Doc Ock suit in the Spider-Man PS4 game, and an interesting variation of the Iron Spider suit, complete with mystic symbols, suggesting that it's the magic metal suit, courtesy of Doctor Strange. But another recent rumor suggests that the first official teaser trailer is ready to go. We have no release date of said trailer, and we still haven't seen anything. We had possible leaks of like movie posters with those suits on it, but I think they might have been fan art. I'm not sure. But Xander's going crazy over there waiting for this trailer, and I'm seriously thinking it's going to be
Like,
after Loki.
You remember Kristen Wiig in Saturday Night Live? You remember those skits where she plays the chick with the curly hair? She's like, oh my god.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be the week after Loki wraps. I'm thinking is when they're going to do it, honestly. I think Loki is going to blow the hat off of the multiverse thing, and I think they can't reveal anything until Loki finishes. That's my theory.
Oh, I'm so freaking excited.
They're like 2 weeks.
I just want Spider-Man now. Like, just give
I know
it to
you do.
me.
I know. Let's see. Moving away from the MCU, Dwayne The Rock Johnson has announced that Black Adam is in its final week of filming, which means post-production starts soon, which means we might be getting a trailer within the next couple months.
I swear to God, if we get a trailer before, like for Black Adam before Spider-Man, I'm rioting. I'm stealing.
I'm waiting.
I don't know what
I'm waiting for
gonna
the teaser
steal a
trailer to
single
drop
Pop-Tart out of the grocery store.
A single Pop-Tart.
Just a single Pop-Tart.
Like,
And
open the box,
gonna
pull out the pack, and open one Pop-Tart.
Open one, just grab one Pop-Tart, put it back in, and like, I don't know, grab like a heat gun and reseal it. That way, when someone opens it, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "Yeah, now you know how I feel not getting the fucking Spider-Man trailer."
Xander, buddy, please. Moving on to less aggressive topics and sort of less nerdy, but still sort of nerdy. Jeff Bezos, yes, CEO, entrepreneur, born in 1964, Jeffrey Bezos, has officially stepped down as CEO of Amazon to focus on his new space venture, Blue Origin. Andy Jassy is set to take his place. They're saying that they're going to keep the same business course on, so I expect no interruption in your Amazon Prime orders or your constant disappointment from Twitch. But you know, we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
But,
only time will tell.
But now that we've wrapped up most of the nerd news, this is, we kept it kind of short. But I mean, there wasn't too much to go on other than the Spider-Man toys and the
Spider-Man toys were the big thing.
Yeah. But with that being said, let's move on to the bulk of this episode, and there is a lot to digest. So
oh
if you
my
haven't
God, it was
seen,
such a big episode.
If you haven't seen episode 4 yet, turn your eyes, look away, mute everything, do what you have to. Here is your spoiler alert. We're gonna go full on in with a nice little play-by-play. And I feel bad for Jagger at this point.
Why?
I feel bad for Jagger at this point because the notes that we have tonight, I legitimately just sat in front of the computer with the Google Doc open, watching, typing. So basically, it's a play-by-play of my emotions throughout this episode.
It's okay. Don't worry. Don't worry. 17 episodes in, I can speak Xander.
Okay.
We're good.
So
I'm semi-fluent in Xander.
We start off with little Sylvie in her version of Asgard.
Yes.
And right off the bat, there's actually kind of a cool couple of Easter eggs right there. I noticed some of the toys that she's playing with, one of which was a large wolf, very reminiscent of Fenris Wolf. And then there was a couple other ones that I remember picking up on, but I was too focused on the Minutemen that captured Sylvie. The leader of that squad was actually Ravonna Renslayer before she became one of the judges. So it kind of goes into a little backstory with Sylvie.
Yeah. Speaking of little Easter eggs with the toys, did you notice the Endgame Easter egg in that scene?
Don't know if I did.
The ship that she's playing with is based off of the original Asgardian ship from the actual Ragnarok folklore, and when they place the time bomb next to it, the hue is purple, and it basically explodes the ship, very similar to how Thanos did in Endgame.
Oh wow.
Or
I didn't
Infinity
catch
War.
that at all.
Infinity War. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So it was
Yeah,
it
no, I
was
didn't- I
that's
never
why
caught
that's
that.
why they zoomed in on it. They zoomed in on the ship because it was just like, oh yeah, this is their destruction of Asgard.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, we get that little bit where so you can kind of see why Sylvie as an adult has this disdain towards the TVA being taken as a
Yes.
child.
Right.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was saying, right, yeah. So like, and you can tell right from a very young age that Sylvie is very sneaky, very sly. As soon as she's taken up in front of the current judge, who is not Renslayer, she's able to basically kick Renslayer, steal her temp pad, and she's been on the run since. And she explains that in an upcoming scene when she's talking to Loki on Lamentus, saying that she stole the temp pad and she was on the run since. Everywhere she went, she caused a Nexus event because she's not supposed to exist. And then she found out that she can hide in apocalypses, and that's what she did. So she grew up in the end of 1,000 worlds, as she quotes.
That's kind of like a badass title, if you ask me. Just
Yeah.
imagine like Sylvie of 1,000 apocalypses.
Yeah. Little bit of a mouthful, but yeah, a good title.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, most Norse mythologic titles have been kind of a mouthful if you think about it.
Fair. You got me there.
Sylvie Laufey Dotir. Okay.
Laufey. It's actually just pronounced Laufey daughter. Dottir is just daughter.
I like to say Dotir.
Dotir? That's fair.
Don't look at me.
I'll give you that one.
Let's see, where we at now?
It is worth, while we're on that, it's worth mentioning that the actress who plays Sylvie, Sofia De Martino, has confirmed that our theories, more so Xander's theories, were correct, that Sylvie is inspired by both Sylvie Hutchinson and Lady Loki, but is actually an original character for the MCU with a separate backstory. So heavily influenced, not actually that. She is in fact a variant, not just
I love it when
a
I'm
displaced version. Yeah, I know.
Let's see. So we got Sylvie on the run, and now we have it goes back to present day, and we see Ravonna Renslayer going up the elevator and opening to a very, very ominous, foggy room. I don't know why there's fog in a room, but there's fog in a room.
Yeah, fog in a room with some red lights behind it. It's like the opening to a Dr. Disrespect stream.
Exactly. And you know this is Disney because those are all the makings of a villain. Guess what? We have our villains. We have the timekeepers. Ooh. I don't know if that's what timekeepers do.
No, they kind of just go, yeah, you do not disobey us. They sound very British and weird.
Yeah, like there's the one on the well, I mean this is like more towards the end, but there's the one on the far like our
Green,
right, their left.
Yeah.
It's like he's talking, but then there's like another voice that's like inhaling while it's talking or something.
Yeah, it was very
weird
strange and
effects.
off-putting. Very strange and off-putting.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get back in order here. So we're going through, and Renslayer is approached by Mobius. Or actually, no, even before that.
As she walks in and she goes before the timekeeper is a sort of like a, hey, you need to come to the manager's office kind of deal.
Yeah.
Like y'all messed up. You need to fix this. And as she's leaving, she's caught by Mobius, and Mobius is asking her about Hunter C20, and he's like prying and wants to talk to the variant and all this other stuff, blah blah blah. And she's just like, nah, C20's dead. She lost her mind, etc. Clearly, you can tell she's lying. Like, you
Absolutely.
can like it's written all over her face that she's lying.
Yeah. Like I immediately I was like, get the fuck out of here.
Right, you didn't
not
kill her.
fooling
You're
anyone.
hiding her somewhere. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then we go back from there. We go back to Lamentus to catch up with Loki and Sylvie, and they're kind of sitting on the edge of the apocalypse, as we say, and they're kind of sharing like a touching moment, talking about her backstory. We find out that she is actually the variant from the beginning of the episode. She was taken as a child. She's been on the run. There's like this weird like blooming love thing that's happening between them as the world is ending, and it causes this massive nexus spike. And I mean, like, we're talking like most of the Nexus spikes have been in kind of like a regular like sine wave. This shit went like straight up in the air.
Yeah.
And the TVA, that's what allows the TVA to find them and basically get them off of Lamentus, so they do survive the apocalypse of Lamentus.
Yeah, it was just like that moment. I immediately was like, oh, damn, what a narcissist. Like,
right. I was like, man, he really does love himself.
Like,
so
out of all the
much.
people in the world, he falls for himself.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, so basically after all of this, if you forget where we left off from the last time we saw both Mobius and Loki together, it's understandable that at this point Mobius feels betrayed, considering they went to Rock's cart in was it 2050, and then Loki was just like, bye, and then
see ya.
So obviously Mobius is trying to get answers. And in typical Loki fashion, he's a little not very astute with the details. And like that's the one thing I understand from a TV show perspective. They have to have the dialogue a certain way, but like in any real scenario, I feel like Loki would have been like straight up like, listen, this is what I fucking found out, all right? I didn't betray you, you little fucking crybaby. This is what happened, okay? This is what I found out.
Yeah.
You take it or leave it, all right? But apparently, you know, things are more dramatic.
Of course.
So he is thrown into a time loop prison, which I as soon as I saw what, and I'm going to mention her name in a second, but as soon as I saw her come back around again, I'm like, oh, yep, time loop prison. But her in question is Lady Sif.
Yep, first time we've seen her in like forever.
Yeah, since Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yep.
I keep mentioning that she was in that. Yep.
Yeah, which is funny to say considering from what a lot of people have been saying about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in conjunction with the MCU is that even long before Lady Sif shows up in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it's not canon. So even her showing up in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is not canon.
Yeah, nothing in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was actually canon.
Yeah.
It was just like weird. A spin-off story. It's bizarre because they've had so many connecting events that they've tried to connect back to the movies.
Yeah. But anyway, we have Lady Sif, which is pretty exciting. And I thought it was kind of funny how... So, and I actually looked it up. This is actually something that happened in Norse mythology where Loki had actually cut Lady Sif's hair.
Yeah, that's an actual.
But I thought it was kind of funny the length at which her hair was cut. It looks exactly like how her hair is normally in her TV show that she was in. I can't remember.
Is that Blind Spot?
Yeah, Blind Spot.
Blind Spot? Yep.
And because she has that shortcut. So I was looking at it, I was like, did they just decide to put half a wig on her?
I think they just put, I think if I'm not mistaken, when she plays Lady Sif, they put extensions in her hair.
Okay.
So I think they just took half her extensions out and just frizzed the ends of her hair a little bit and then called it a day.
That's not bad.
And she's just holding her extensions in her hand, angry.
Yeah, as opposed to someone like Paul Bettany, who has to get ready for Vision. She got the better end of that deal.
Yeah, for sure. Seeing the process of him becoming Vision is such a, oh my god, it looks like such an arduous task.
Yeah. So he's in this time loop prison, and this actually, like, the whole ordeal with that kind of solidifies what I said even as early as episode 1, where this is my favorite version of Loki.
Yes,
because he's very self-aware, and it shows it in this little time loop prison here, where he's clearly held up long enough, and he realized, you know, what he needs to do to kind of get this to end, and he finally mentions, he's like, I did it because I was looking for attention. I'm a complete narcissist. Okay, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know. It's just like amazing to see that side of Loki, and see Loki pretty much by the end of this become a full-fledged hero almost, like similar to certain iterations in the comics.
Kinda. I don't think he's quite there yet. I think he's getting there, but I don't think he's quite there yet.
Yeah, I would at least like to see him as an anti-villain or anti-hero rather. Well, actually, technically,
Yeah.
he'd be anti-villain, right?
He'd be an anti-villain. Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see it. I would like to see that as well. But
Right.
I honestly don't see Loki surviving this series.
Really?
I don't see them keeping him around after the series.
Oh,
I
man,
think
that's...
it's sad to say because I love Tom Hiddleston's Loki, but I don't
Mhm.
think they can bring him back into the mainstream movies properly. Unless they really, really mess up the timeline here, which is
Yeah.
entirely possible.
Yeah.
But
That'd be
anyway,
funny if they
so
actually had a moment in sorry. I was
you're
gonna
good.
say it'd be funny if there's like a moment in Love and Thunder
Mhm.
where he actually shows up and
That'd be interesting.
even though they've denied that he does. I mean, it
Yeah.
would be the first time that, Marvel led us astray, but he just shows
Imagine
up and he's like, "Hello."
a little TVA portal opens in the background. He's just like running from timekeepers.
Yeah.
Be funny. I wouldn't put it past Taika Waititi to sneak that in there as like
That'd be hilarious.
like a post credits thing or something.
Oh my god.
But anyway, so Mobius is letting Loki marinate in this time loop prison, and he's talking with Hunter B-15, and we learn that vampires are officially canon, and the comment that he makes to B-15 basically puts vampires on the same level as Kree and Titans, which the main Kree and main Titan we know Ronan the Accuser and Thanos, which leads us to believe characters like Blade are gonna be OP as hell.
Yeah.
They're gonna be strong. Like they basically put them on that same power level as Ronan and Thanos, which pretty big deal.
I'm just
Deal.
So who's the main I'm not too familiar with Blade. Who's the main bad? Like, is that Dracula?
I think
'Cause I know I've
Dracula
seen Dracula
appears
before.
in it. He appears in Blade. But as far as I'm aware, I believe Frost is actually the main villain. Hang on, let me fact check it. So from the movie, it's Deacon Frost.
Deacon Frost.
Deacon Frost is he's actually the arch nemesis of Blade. He's also the one that killed Blade's mother. Yeah, that's comics and movies. So the original movies did follow that proper. Deacon Frost is like the main vampire baddie from Blade. I wanted to fact check that before I like spat that name out there.
Yeah, I'm trying to find like some like just like actual because like everything I'm clicking on right now is just like all from the OG movie.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find like actual. Well, we'll get back to that on another time.
Yeah, we'll come back to that when we cover Blade later. But
Yeah, so
in this exchange, we've got B-15 and Mobius are kind of suspicious of the things that the people are saying, because the one thing that Loki said to Mobius before he went into the time loop prison is that the TVA is lying to you. And when he says this to B-15, B-15 has this look on her face just like, oh god, he is right. I saw something. Like, you can tell, like when Sylvie had her possessed or enchanted or whatever, she saw something, or she knows something is up.
Yeah, at that moment I was instantly like, oh wait, she had to have seen something during that whole possession period in Roxcart.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, we have like a nice little moment once Loki finally does admit his faults in the time loop prison. Mobius comes to interrogate him further, and the exchange that they have, Mobius is like the most clever motherfucker out there, because he says exactly what he needs to say to get the other the interrogated party to basically bend to his will. So basically you can kind of see Loki's very concerned about Sylvie, and Mobius lies to him and says, "Oh yeah, she's fucking gone."
Yeah,
she gone.
And he basically cracks because of that. Like, he just starts spilling all the details and all this stuff. But he's like, Loki's trying to craft this little thing to basically save Sylvie. He's like, yeah, it was my plan all along. She found me on Asgard during Ragnarok. Blah blah blah. She's a pawn. I'm the real mastermind. do things to me, leave her alone. And he's like, oh, well, B-15 took care of that for you. She's gone. And he's just like, what now?
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a
like,
very clever moment.
especially with like an actor like Owen Wilson, who in the past has played more so kind of not necessarily completely dim-witted, but kind of slightly aloof characters. To see him play this type of character where he's basically playing chess the entire time.
Yes. And he even says it. He says, you're
Yeah.
sitting there playing checkers and old Mobius is playing chess.
That felt kind of Ben Stiller-ish in his delivery.
Kind of, yeah. I can see that. I like this note that you have here for this next part, because I know exactly what you're talking about, that you can't handle the truth. It definitely kind of called me back to A Few Good Men. And when Loki just blurts out, you're all variants.
Yep.
The timekeepers ripped you from the timeline, blah, blah, blah. And Mobius doesn't believe him. But that little thought kind of stuck in the back of his head, as you'll see later on. And then we're kind of cutting back and forth between like some of the side characters' effects of the variants being caught and Mobius and Loki's exchange. So they bounce over to Sylvie, and Hunter B-15 has this kind of like break, and like, I need to know. So she goes in, grabs Sylvie, takes her to Roxcart, and then says, what did you do to me when we were here?
Yeah.
And basically says, hey, enchant me again, show me what I see. And I'm telling you, I got emotional seeing the look on her face, and she was like, I looked happy. Because you can tell that she's not happy where she's at now. She does not like her job. She does not like what she does. And you can tell that she misses her life.
Yeah.
So you definitely kind of felt for B-15 at this moment. But
oh yeah, that's where I wrote. Now time to get Mobius on board. So Mobius is like the last little puzzle piece here.
Yep.
To have people within the TVA on their side, realizing what's happening.
Yep.
So Mobius actually has a moment with Renslayer in her office, and they're basically talking about how they've closed the case. They have Sylvie, they have this Loki variant, everything's fine. But the entire time, Mobius is still kind of just
he's trying to prune her for questions.
Yeah, he's asking questions, and he's given the cold shoulder. So finally he actually swaps temp pads with Renslayer. Takes that temp pad to the library and goes through it and finds out that C-20 is in fact dead, but it wasn't because that she went nutsy cuckoo and her brain exploded, like how Renslayer basically.
They definitely
said.
pruned her.
Yeah, so it was obvious that that she got pruned, and Renslayer was there. So now Mobius is on board. He goes back to the time loop prison where they threw Loki back in, and there's this really touching moment that I thought was really nice, where Mobius basically says, "So I just have to trust the word of two Lokis," and Loki responds with, "How about trusting the word of a friend?" And I was just like, "Oh shit!" And then they go back to the TVA, and lo and behold, we got a bunch of Minutemen and Renslayer waiting for them, and she knows what's up. She knows. There's no denying it. She knows that
they've learned her little dastardly plan, basically, to cover up the whole C-20 mess. And like, it sucked, because this is like the first time we've ever had to see this happen. She literally, without hesitation, just says, "Prune him," and we have to watch Owen Wilson die. I don't remember a time where we have to watch Owen Wilson die in a movie or on screen.
I don't think I've ever seen that, ever.
Yeah, it was sad.
Like, this is, and Owen Wilson actually has a very close place in my heart, because I remember distinctly back when I was younger, we had like a DVD player when DVD players first came out, and we only had like 3 movies. We had Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, The Mummy Returns, and Shanghai Nights. And Shanghai Nights was my favorite out of the 3. Second only to The Mummy Returns. Mainly because you can tell by my persona, I'm very much a comedy guy. But yeah, so watching Owen Wilson ever since like I was much younger and like now, like I'm like that's one of my favorites right there. And then he just gets pruned right there. And you even see Loki too. Like me and Loki legit had the same exact reaction right in that moment.
Yeah.
I was like, no! Like you can even ask Jackie. She's like, what? What? Huh?
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard to watch.
Up on pain medication. She's like, what? What?
What's going on, huh?
But yeah, so yeah, Mobius.
So Mobius gets
gone.
pruned. Yep.
Yeah.
So Mobius is gone. And then Ravana and the rest of the Minutemen take Loki and Sylvie in front of the Timekeepers to be pruned.
Yep.
So we finally see the faces of the Timekeepers. Kang is not one of them.
Yeah.
We can finally debunk the Kang theories because
Or
everybody's like,
can we?
We can. Oh my
or
god,
can we?
We can. We absolutely can.
I don't think we can.
All right, Xander. Kang it. Kang is not in this show. I'm guaranteeing it right now. If he is, then I will.
So
I don't know.
we will get to why, and I'm pretty sure you know why I think so. But we'll speed this up. So we get to see these timekeepers, and then all of a sudden B-15 comes out of nowhere, and she's like, "Y'all fucked. Here you go," and unlocks the collars on Sylvie and Loki and tosses the Loki sword over to Sylvie, and they're just whooping ass and everything, blah 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 blah. Next thing you know, the timekeepers are like, "Yo, listen, Sylvie, you're also a child of the timekeepers. Maybe we can talk this out." And she's like, "Bitch, fuck you," and then throws the sword at the center one's neck, which is supposed to be Ast, I believe. And then off with your head. Like literally, his head is rolling. But
and
immediately
sparking.
sparks fly. Yes, sparks. It's
Sparks.
the fucking Wizard of Oz, guys.
They're androids.
Yep. And so there, Loki and Sylvie are like, what the fuck? I thought this was it. I thought this was this. These are fakes. What is happening here?
And then they're like, who created the TVA? Like, it opens up all these new questions. They're like, okay, we think it's the Timekeepers, but the Timekeepers are androids. But who's controlling the androids? Who created
Kang.
the TVA? It's not Kang. Oh my god. Oh my god.
It's fucking Kang.
Not.
I think it's Kang. I think it could.
If
it very well could be
if it is, I will issue an official statement and apologize to you directly.
Ooh, I cannot wait for this after episode 6. But no, and I'll get to it in a little bit. But so there's this whole exchange where they're trying to figure out, well, who the hell actually runs the TVA, and then there's another moment where Loki, I believe, is about to confess his love to Sylvie.
Yes.
He's about to plant a big old smoocheroo on her, and all of a sudden he gets pruned too.
Loki's gone.
I let out, and so that whole story about Owen Wilson, I basically told you that story to preface the fact that my yell for Loki was actually louder.
Yeah, it was. I was like,
what? I was like, why?
And then I literally took a step back and I was like, Tom Hiddleston did say that this show takes a big turn that we didn't expect. And I was like, okay, so I guess it focuses on Sylvie now, because now she turns on Renslayer and is like, no, I'm not pruning you. You're telling me everything. And then the episode ends. And lo and behold, we actually get our first post-credit scene since WandaVision.
Mid-credits.
Well, mid-credit scene, whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, we so it turns out it turns out pruning don't mean what it thought we meant in the thing. Nothing makes sense anymore.
And then, well, I'm thinking. So here's my thinking. I'm thinking that I was right. I think the lines above and below the sacred timeline are other timelines, and I'm thinking that there's like a dump timeline, like the darkest timeline, where all the pruned variants go. I don't know if there's like a different area for each different one. Well, I guess we'll find out. Like if Loki runs into Mobius, then we'll know that all the variants that get pruned go to this one dimension where everything's destroyed. Because when Loki wakes up in this other dimension, he's met by Kid Loki, Classic Loki, Worthy Loki, where he actually has the powers of Thor. He holds Mjolnir, and who I'm calling Florida Loki, the Gator.
Florida Loki.
I call him Florida Loki. And behind them
Orlando
is
Loki.
Orlando Loki.
Or Loki?
Or Loki?
I'm working on it.
Okay, we'll get there. But behind them is a destroyed Avengers Tower. So people are speculating.
Port Saint Loki. That's it. That's the one.
Okay,
that's
Port
the
Saint
one.
Loki. There we go. So people are speculating that this is actually a timeline in which Ultron succeeded in wiping out humanity. Because a lot of people are saying, like, this is the timeline where Loki wins and destroys New York. And I'm like, no, because that's the Avengers Tower, not Stark Tower. It's a different tower. So we're thinking it's like post-Ultron timeline. So I'm thinking that the whole, like, parallel timelines thing is accurate. And anybody that gets pruned gets sent to one of these parallel timelines. Is my theory. And I guess we'll find out more when we get into the meat of tomorrow's episode, but
yeah. And then Kang
know.
shows up.
Okay. I know comic accuracy says since we have Ravonna Renslayer, we should have Kang because they were both introduced in the same issue in the same run. But I don't think they're introducing Kang yet. I think they're going to start playing off of whoever the big bad is. And my vote is on Dormammu. Officially. I think they're going to bring Dormammu out as, like, the master manipulator. Because he's the only other, like, big bad that I know who's obsessed with time. Kang is more trying to span the multiverse. But Dormammu is trying to break out of the dark dimension and exists throughout all of time. That's his goal.
You think?
That's what I'm thinking. That's what his whole speech at the end of Doctor Strange was about. He wants to exist chaotically throughout all of space and time. His end goal is to just spread chaos and the darkness throughout the timeline. So,
hear me
what
out.
if this is now being realized?
What if it's Dormammu dressed as Kang?
I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna hit you.
Alrighty. Well, yeah. No, honestly, my theory is I do truly believe that I think we're gonna see at least some form of Kang reference. I don't think we're actually gonna see Kang at all.
A reference,
Loki.
I could get behind a reference.
I think they might actually paint the big bad right now as Ravonna Renslayer. I think they could spin it because, like, even the actress said in a recent interview. I'm not gonna say her name because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna just completely butcher it. But she even said in an interview that this is an origin story of sorts for her character. So I want to say that she is actually much higher up than we realize. In knowing about the Timekeepers, I think she was appointed that position by Kang, who created the facade of the TVA based on his past and future travels.
So I'm thinking if that's the case, I think they're gonna really shift focus to Renslayer being the big bad for the show, and then maybe in like a post-credit scene of the end of the last episode, we might see her conversing with Kang.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that. I don't think they should outright introduce Kang, because if they were going to introduce Kang, they should have done it in episode 4.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't think at all that we're going to actually see any bit of Kang, but I think we'll see, like, maybe, at most, probably, like, another, like, at the end of the Avengers moment where you just see Thanos just turn to the side and smile. Like, maybe, like, some shit like that, but I don't even think they'd go that far. I think they would it would be probably on the same, like, level as, like, the pager at the end of Infinity War between
Maybe
Nick Fury and Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
I would assume
I
it'd
mean,
be on that level.
I mean, they did say that they were gonna kind of break the boundaries here. This was gonna bust open the rest of the MCU Phase 4 verse. So I mean, they could go big here, and I think it would be in their best interest to go big here for sure.
Yeah.
I think if they're gonna introduce Kang as like the big bad, we know he's featured in Quantumania, but like other stuff has been kept under wraps. So what if he's actually the next big bad? I mean, he is on the same level as Thanos as far as big bads go. So, I mean, it would make sense for them to just be like, oh, yeah, so you got this to look forward to. Quantumania wraps up Phase 4. Well, Fantastic Four wraps up Phase 4. But Quantumania is right around that area. And there's other properties that have been hinted at but not teased fully.
Right.
So
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens tomorrow and next week. But tomorrow, I think tomorrow is probably gonna be the biggest episode because I feel like the way it's kind of going, I think we're gonna get like the biggest reveals in this next episode, and then we'll have the final culmination of the series by the last
6
episode.
is like a wrap up.
Yeah. However, I did hear a rumor that a season 2 of Loki is a possibility, which is why when you mentioned that you couldn't necessarily see Loki popping back up in the films, that's why I thought it was kind of strange, because there are rumors that a season 2 could be a potential thing. So you looking up?
Yeah,
You looking that up now?
No. I was looking at our upcoming schedule.
Oh yeah, that's right. Which we got some stuff coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, we have some pretty big stuff coming up soon, actually.
Yeah. I gotta make sure that we can watch Black Widow.
Yep. I think me and Meg are going to see it this weekend.
Okay.
I think
we're gonna try to go see it this weekend.
If we're scheduled to have the Black Widow review next Tuesday, so we'll spend the episode talking about that. But if you don't end up seeing it before then, we'll do episode 5. Otherwise, we're doing episode 5 and 6 together on the 15th. Wait, that's not right.
Oh, what's up?
That's not right. The 15th? Oh no, we are. We're doing a double week next week, because the following week you'll be out of town.
Oh yeah, that's right. So we're doing you said 13th and 15th?
Yeah, 13th and 15th. So next week we'll actually have 2 episodes.
Ooh.
Oh, I have to figure out how I'm doing that. We'll have to talk after this episode.
Yeah. Cuz I think you might have initially planned that before we set up curse tapes as well.
It was before I was doing curse tapes weekly. Curse tapes was originally going to be bi-weekly.
Okay.
But let's go ahead and wrap this up.
Yes, sir. So if you guys are still here, thank you for joining us today. Tune in next week for more of our continued coverage on Loki. It's going to be great. Tomorrow's episode is going to be fantastic. I can feel it. I can feel it in my Lokis. So yeah, but if there are any topics you'd like to see us cover on this channel or any of our other channels, please leave a suggestion in the comments down below, or join us on Discord. We do have our Discord server linked in the description below as well. We also have a couple other shows this week. Tomorrow, join us on twitch.tv/stoopghost. That's STOOPGHOST. Yes, I was in the spelling bee. We are going to be doing the first episode of Otaku's Anonymous, starting up with the best anime openers. So if you guys have any anime openers in mind, please let us know. You can catch us there. We'll be recording it on his Twitch channel, so it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be hosted by Coop and Charles. If you guys haven't seen them, why haven't you seen the trailer to the box yet? I put a lot of work into that. But yeah, I think it came out pretty well. But anyway, also both Jagger and I also stream on Twitch. Our links are down in the description below. Jagger usually does a pregame show on occasion, as well as I do an occasional post-game show, post-show show, which I do plan on doing tonight. Starting at around, let's see, what is it? It is 9:50. I'm looking at starting at about like 10:15 over on twitch.tv/ITSXNDR. That's It's Xander, not It's Sexon Doctor or It's Snyder or whatever people have said in the past. But yeah, that is it for episode 17. Yeah, this has been a fun one. It's gonna get even more funner. I cannot wait. I'm so excited, and give me Spider-Man.
Yes, give us Spider-Man, please.
Please give us Spider-Man.
Calm his ass down a little.
I will not be calm until I get Spider-Man. But yes, thank you everyone for joining us tonight, and I appreciate anyone sticking around after the technical difficulties that we had at the beginning.
Yeah.
So thank you, and stay nerdy, my friends. Bye-bye.
Bye.